Hello, boys and girls. You are now watching Peter's Raw Recap. Yes, I did do a Raw Recap tonight. I thought I was going to be having a post-Raw discussion with somebody, like a podcast, but that kind of fell through. So either way, I watched Raw, and it was a go-home show to TLC. That's this Sunday, and I can honestly say that it wasn't a bad show, but it was things that, I don't know, you just kind of throw your hands up in the air for this fucking product at the moment. This Raw tonight is from Charleston, South Carolina. They were last night in Charlotte. I wasn't able to get to go to that because I was doing a fundraiser thing. I really wanted to go to Charlotte. I know Alexa went. I'd be curious to see how she how much fun she had, because she had never been to a WWE live event before. So if you're listening or you checking this out, Alexa, be sure to hit me up, seeing if you're free this Wednesday to do Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, episode 69. Go figure. So let's get to business, because I want to get the hell out of here. Because I actually started dozing off, like right at the very end. Like, just started dozing off, and my internet, whatever stream I was getting, just started acting up. And I was dozing off anyway, so whatever. So it starts off with the League of Nations, the League of Mid-Carders, and Sheamus is basically shooting on how he defeated Roman Reigns again at, well, not again he beat him, but bragging again how he beat Roman Reigns in 5 minutes and 15 seconds. And he basically reintroduces the League of Nations, just in case you don't watch the show, and just in case you're too stupid to realize where these guys are from. King Barrett is from England. Rusev is from Bulgaria. And from Mexico, and that was definitely foreshadowing. Alberto Del Rio, and then Sheamus from Ireland, and it's like, okay, we get it. We start hearing USA chants, USA, and this was Thursday. They did the USA chants, and Sheamus actually made a point to say that they are legal. Well, this is not a USA thing. We're not against USA. We're legal. We're here legally, except for Rusev. But this time it's just like, well, we tried to look for an American, and we couldn't find an American to even lace our boots. So it seems like they are trying to go with the whole anti-USA kind of sentiment. I mean, it's a clusterfuck of what they're trying to do with this fucking thing. So who knows really what angle they're going to go, other than at some point it's going to have to end. I mean, even though these guys are the League of Mid-Carders, at some point you got to break this up. John Cena has to come back. And I wouldn't be surprised John Cena comes back and breaks this shit up. But, Seth Rollins is going to have to come back. Cesaro's going to have to come back. And these guys just can't be around as a crew for too long. So whatever direction they're trying to go, whether they're pro-American, anti-American, we know they're anti-Reigns. And that's basically... And I guess... Are they still an affiliation with the Authority? It's just like an authority thing. We still don't know. But what happens is you get and the Wyatt family are in the fucking ring, and it's like, holy shit! All right, here's a curveball, and they're like, because I guess what they're talking about, like, this is Sheamus was talking about how they were like the four most dominant people in the WWE and blah blah blah, and then I think the Wyatt family and Bray didn't have a liking to that so much because they were like, yo, you out here talking about how you're the dominant. Nah, son, we're the most dominant. And we're here to show up for we showed up for the chaos. And then the Dudleys and Tommy Dreamer show up. And Dreamer's wearing like, I guess he's the American Dreamer because half of his pants were yellow polka dots. So maybe like since he's late to the party getting to the WWE, this is his way of showing his respects on national television to the late American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And they're like, yo, we're here for the Extreme, yo. So they're like Team Extreme and shit. And then Bray Wyatt is like, yo, y'all are outmatched, outmanned, stay the fuck out my way. And Bubba's like, yeah, we are outmatched, but, you know, we brought someone with us. And all of a sudden, you hear Rhino's music. Rhino comes out. This is Rhino's return to the main roster, the WWE main roster. I was like, oh, shit, you know, because he's down in NXT. We thought that was going to be like a short thing. But he ended up becoming like an NXT roster member. He's down there kicking ass and taking names. And for him to go into the main roster to see is kind of cool, you know? Like his road to redemption. He's finally back on the main roster. I don't know if, again, this is a one and done. He goes down to the NXT. Well, one and done for this angle and then go back down to NXT. But it's pretty cool to see him on the main roster. He's busting his ass. And if there's anybody who, get a redemption return to the main roster, it should be that guy. Kudos to him. I popped. And I imagine a lot of people popped. I imagine a lot of NXT people popped. Or NXT people were like, ugh, I don't know about this. They're going to ruin him. And then the Rain Men, who are the Usos, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns, they come out. And it's like everyone's chilling. You got four-man teams. So what do? You get a 16-man single elimination Fatal 4 tag team match. When Michael Cole said that on the fucking thing, I was like, what? It was like, it just endless fucking titles. Okay, let's go through this again. 16-man single elimination Fatal 4-way tag team match, right? So the stipulation is this. All those 16 motherfuckers show up. You got 2 in there. It's like a Fatal 4-way. So you got 4 in there at a time of each 4-man group. And whoever gets pinned from each respectable team, the whole fucking unit is gone, okay? So we got the League of Mid-Carders, we got Team Extreme, we got the Wyatts and the Rain Men. And they're just, it's what it is. It's out of control. And there's one big old tree spot where, Braun Strowman just throws everyone down. It throws them on Tommy Dreamer. And Tommy Dreamer does the Dreamer drop onto Eric Rowan to eliminate the Wyatt family first. And I just go like, man, they were out there first. Well, yeah, they were out there first to challenge the League of Jobbers. So why the fuck are they leaving first? Like, that's bullshit. Rowan gets pinned, so I'm like, they came there to fight first, and they already the first ones eliminated. All right? So then, out of all the chaos that went down, they kept going and going and going. But then, at one point, all the people just enter the ring, and they go all out. And then we're left with Rhino and Roman Reigns in the ring together. And the crowd kind of gets like, oh, shit, this is going to be awesome. But then that gets broken up, which leads to, what is it? A bro kick to Bubba, eliminating Team Extreme. And then Reigns comes in for the hot tag. And there's this one spot, right, where he's in there with Alberto Del Rio, and Alberto finally gets on that arm breaker. Again, he never really puts that on in the matches. He normally does that afterwards when he's picking the bones or whoever he just fucking border busted open. But rather than say one of the Usos just kind of run over and kind of kick or like kind of jump on ADR, I think this is Jimmy Uso. He gets up on the top rope and does a frog splash on top of the arm breaker. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, that's not very smart. You're trying to break Roman Reigns' fucking arm in two. I just thought that was really weird. When he got up there, I was like, okay, maybe he's just gonna hit ADR on the leg, or kind of jump over and hit him. He lands on the arm breaker. Crazy shit, man. But then Sheamus, I guess, whatever the fuck. Sheamus gets some momentum, and it looks like he's about to hit him with the brogue kick. But he imitates the cocking of the fist and the punch of the ground to do a brogue kick, but that ends with a spear by Roman Reigns, and Reigns wins again. Reigns wins again. And this fucking, that's what I put in my notes, LOL. Like, Roman wins. God, this guy has, you want to stack the deck against him, but you keep giving him wins. All right, good luck with trying to find sympathy for this motherfucker. But this first segment from the promos to the match, 40 minutes. 40 minutes. You know what that means, boys and girls? That means smoke and mirrors to a very lackluster fucking roster. Because all these guys show up again. All of them show up. And they're like, oh, we need 40 minutes to fucking feel. And we're going to put this first and make it seem like it's awesome. And it's like, no. It just goes to show that this roster is hurting like hell. It looked like it could have been cool. I think if Team Extreme and the Rain Men would have never showed up, and it would just been like this sort of impromptu match between the Wyatts and I guess the League of Jobbers, I think that could have been interesting in itself because we didn't see it coming. But we gotta get whatever, dude. We start seeing SmackDown commercials. SmackDown is going to USA in January, and they're now starting to roll out the promotions for it. And they were all pretty funny. What you think about it? In the back, you got Renee Young with a very upset Sheamus. I mean, he is pissed off, and like, why couldn't he have been this pissed off the entire time? This whole like sports entertainer Sheamus, where you're kind of like happy go lucky, kind of like smart ass kind of a guy. It's like, yeah, you're still a mid-carder with this attitude. Why can't you just be a badass? Why can't you just be mean and upset and pissed off, and just show how like, of a dirtbag you are, rather than like some snooty, uppity, smart aleck kind of, what's the word I want to use? Like prankster, like jokester. Like that doesn't really translate to me as a fucking world champion. I don't think it translates to anybody that you're like a champion with this sort of this kind of Weasley smart aleck attitude. But here you're like pissed off. You're mad. You're like, yeah, fuck that motherfucker. I'm gonna kick his ass. And he's pissed. And he talks about how he's gonna basically teach Roman Reigns a lesson tonight. And I'm like, what do you mean you're gonna teach him a lesson tonight? What's going on? Later. I mean, y'all just finished fighting. Like, you're gonna... No, never mind. I can't. I'm too tired. And then we jump to Stardust in the back with 3D glasses, and he's doing the whole thing. And they're setting up this whole thing with him and Titus O'Neil. First time was cute because it kind of caught us off guard. And now it's just like, what? Like, what's the payoff here? What's going on? Like, what's really going on? Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens, the returning Kevin Owens. He was able to dodge getting out of the League of Nations representing Canada because he was down with the flu or some shit. And I think that wasn't a complete lie. He's like, no, I see the writing on the wall to this dumb shit, and I want nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. So we get Kevin Owens, the Intercontinental Champion, versus Dolph Ziggler. He's no part of no league. All right. And Tyler Breeze is at ringside in his VIP booth with Summer Rae. And I guess it's a decent match. It's like a video game match. Dolph is flailing everywhere. I have a friend that's over, and she's like, well, this guy is funny. This guy's like just flailing all over the place. Like, who the hell is this guy? And I'm like, Dolph Ziggler. Like, that's his thing. He like flails all over the place. So it's funny that you picked that up first time seeing the guy. Well, anyway, we get Dean Ambrose in the back during this match. He's eating popcorn because he has a match with Kevin Owens at TLC for the Intercontinental belt. Because he won the Intercontinental, like, it was like I think it was like a battle royal or some shit. He won it, and now he has his opportunity at the belt to finally get on the wall of champions in Titan Towers. Finally, will he finally make it to the wall? Because I feel like it's more about the wall to me than the actual belt itself. Because last year around this time, that's all he wanted. He just wanted to be on that fucking wall. And then him wanting the Intercontinental belt so bad, everyone wanted the fucking Intercontinental belt. But now we come full circle. We're back, square one. Let's get that Intercontinental belt. Let's get on the wall of champions. Hoorah. But he's eating popcorn, sipping on soda. I guess someone's gonna, just like last time he's watching TV, they were putting like different shit that he could possibly be watching. They probably do that again because he always has a funny looking face. The match ends with, I would say, Dolph Ziggler going the headbutt route, which is weird because the first thing I thought about is like, wait a minute, man, you know, even from 2 years ago, like the concussion thing, you know, him catching a concussion, losing the heavyweight, the world heavyweight championship, and then them try to like incorporate like a little like storyline into the fact that he's concussion prone, but this kind of rears its ugly head again with him giving those headshots and him kind of being woozy. That led to a pop-up power bomb and to a 1-2-3 pin right there while Tyler Breeze is watching. And it's like, wow, okay, I understand you want to build up the match with Dean Ambrose and keep Kevin Owens strong, but at the expense of Dolph Ziggler, I think is pretty stupid. It's like, yeah, like, wait a minute. He has an opponent right outside that he's facing for even Stevens to end their three match bout, and you give him a loss right in front of him. It's just hard to follow, man. I mean, it makes no sense. All of a sudden, Dean Ambrose music hits, and he's walking out with the soda and popcorn, and Kevin Owens, he can't even bask in his own win with, in his own music without, having Ambrose come out and take the spotlight. And you hear Kevin Owens, he's like, yo, what the fuck is my music? Someone play my fucking music. What the fuck is up? Hey, music man, play my music. But nope. Ambrose goes into the ring. He's like, what the fuck are you doing here, man? And Ambrose offers him popcorn. Owens refuses. So he tosses it in his face. He tossed the popcorn and the soda right in his face, and he walks off. Heel can't get no heat here. The heel cannot get any heat here. You get Wyatt's in the back, and Ogre, a.k.a. Braun Strowman, talks about how he had a dream about squeezing the life out of Tommy Dreamer. That was kind of creepy. That face he looks, man. I just want him to say nerds. That's all I see. He's Ogre from the Revenge of the Nerds. And anytime he talks and he has that little like that face like this and shit, I'm just like, just say nerds, man. Just go ahead, Ogre. Just you got Team Bad, which consists of, I guess, the in ring consists of Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Fox and Bree. And but before we get to this match, we get a Superstars Exposed segment, and it talks about the Miz with Neville and no, the Superstars Exposed. Oh yeah, it's Lana. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Okay, it's Lana. It's like this little thing, like did you know? I guess that's like replaced with like Superstars Exposed, and it talks about Lana and her learning to dance or what have you. It's just a little write up with her photo, and I'm like, oh yeah, all right. And then not only that, we got Miz with Neville in the back, and he's still trying to tutor him, and they bring in Donnie. That's the whole Donnie spot, the lead into the show Donnie, what have you. He's in the building. He talks about how he wants Neville on the show, and then him and Miz are going back and forth. This Donnie motherfucker's going back and forth. They're both making each other, trying to make each other look bad. He gives a card, Donnie gives a card to Neville, and Neville keeps the card because he's like, yo, look, this looks pretty cool. I still think this is going to turn into a something that's going to focus on his appearance, something with the Miz, Santa's little helper, and him being an elf. I'm pretty sure that's going to go down. So what happens here? Basically, Tamina's earning her money. They finally get to the match. Team Bad versus Fox, Alicia Fox and Brie Bella. They finally get to the match. Tamina, the story is Tamina earning her money outside. She's really earning her money outside. I mean, her in the ring sucks, but her on the outside is kind of cool. And if she's just like, drawing a distraction or super kicking the fuck out of somebody, that's to her capacity, and she shouldn't exceed any more than that. Especially just be the heavy for Naomi and Sasha Banks. The match ends. Oh yeah, and this match itself is just weird. It's not a good match at all. It runs pretty long, but there's just miscue after miscue. There's no fluid motion of anything. They're fucking up Sasha Banks. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. They're fucking up Sasha Banks. They need to cut that shit out. But the match ends with the review, and then the New Day come out and celebrate with them, give them unicorn horns because they got new unicorn horn like headbands that they're trying to promote. I think this unicorn gimmick is silly as fuck. I don't think it. Even when they started doing it, I'm not a fan of the unicorn shit. I'm not a fan of the unicorn shit. And the New Day they're overexposed. It's just too much of them, and they're given too long of a segments. And I still like them. I just feel that I'm gonna start unliking them if they're gonna be as overexposed as they are right now. It's just too much of them. And they cut a promo on basically being pissed off that they have to defend their belts against two other tag teams, that being the Usos and the Lucha Dragons, and the fact that they could lose their match without even getting pinned. They're not too happy about that. And it's in a ladder match. We find out that it's the ladder match. So we get the New Day versus Lucha Dragons with the Usos on commentary. Not really much to the match itself. Just when you see Kalisto and Sin Cara go like on a hot streak, hot tags, Xavier Wood walks over to the Usos and starts blowing the horn in their face, which leads to them taking the trombone and stomping the mud hole in Xavier Woods. Again, no heel heat whatsoever. No heel heat. But the match, it ends with Sin Cara using that as a distraction to roll up Kofi Kingston. no heel heat. Going into the I guess the 3-way ladders match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Young is in the back with Reigns, and I just say shut up. You know, he's shooting on what Professor Sheamus, because he's going to teach him a lesson. Shut up, Roman. I'm so not into this guy. Just not. He sounds like a goober whenever he talks. We have Miz TV with Charlotte and Ric Flair, and this is basically the Miz trying to pry out the real emotion of Charlotte Flair. Like, you're calling out, like, what's with your attitude change? What's going on? And Rick is like, hey, you know, you're not going to get over on my daughter. Like, no, that's not going to happen. But he's like, yo, this is what Paige said. This is what Paige said. She said this. She said this about you. And you're going to be, and now all of a sudden you got a little chip on your shoulder. You're going to be like an asshole. You're going to be like, try to be like your dad. There's unfinished business that I'm trying to pry out of you. And this is what Miz does. A good segment. I think it's a segment of the night, honestly. And then finally, Charlotte Flair breaks down and starts talking shit about Paige, about, well, I wish she was in the ring now. I wish she was here. I'd kick her ass. And it'd be the last time she's in the fucking, last time she ever wrestled, actually. And then Miz is like, well, ain't that some shit? She's here. She comes down to the ramp. She slaps Ric Flair. Ric Flair's like, get her. He sicks his daughter on Paige. They kind of scuffle for a little bit. And Paige escapes. So it seems now that Paige, out of nowhere, is the babyface going into this match at TLC, and Charlotte Flair is the heel. It's like a double turn out of nowhere. It's like an RKO out of nowhere. No, a double turn out of nowhere. You got Charlotte Flair crying and crying at tears of, you know, hatred towards Paige for calling out Reed Flair's suicide. And now all of a sudden she's a jerk to Becky Lynch, and now she's a jerk to The Miz, and now all of a sudden she's a jerk to Paige, who's supposed to be the heel. She comes out, gets the babyface pop. It's like, that's out of nowhere. But we get Ryback versus Rusev. Rematch from last week, where it ended with Lana getting bumped and a count out. I thought she was out of there because of the whole League of Nations thing going on, that there's no room for her, but they're still kind of, it's weird. It's so fucking weird. Well, anyway, Lana forgives Ryback and say, hey, it was an accident. The match itself is just Ryback debuting a couple of new moves. One being a corkscrew sideways dive, suicide dive, that looked really bad, and then a missile drop kick. I think that's what happened. Well, anyway, Rusev is reeling from the match prior, so that's the storyline of that. You got Ryback showcasing new moves, and you got Rusev tired, blown up, basically, and hurting. And there's a spot where he's going after like the arm of Rusev, of Ryback. And then there's a spot where he goes to get powder, because it's like this is the whole point. He keeps going to get powder. He keeps going for powder. And this last powder, he runs around, and then Lana kind of gets in the way, and she basically sells an injury again. And it turns out that she was faking the injury, but as Rusev basically is using his guilt as a distraction, he throws him into the pole, and then he puts him in an accolade. It's a double count out again as Rusev just keeps that fucking he keeps it on, keeps the accolade on, and as Lana laughs, and you know she faked her injury. So We don't really know how that's going to move forward. I guess they got a match at TLC. We don't know. I mean, 2 double countouts. Well, 1 count out, then a double count out. I guess they will have the match to settle the score at TLC. Got Swagger versus Stardust. Man, they don't even get like a jobber's entrance. They get like a jobber's match entrance because it's like we come out of commercial break and the match has already started. Like I was like, what the fuck? That sucks. Well, anyway, Titus O'Neil's on commentary and he admits why he's been fucking showing up in the dark matter of Stardust in the back. It's because he wants Cody Rhodes back. And he's all like fucking Naruto going after fucking Sasuke and trying to bring him back to the cloud village. All right. So this is what this is. I want to bring Cody back. Good luck, Narutotitus. Narutotitus, yeah, Narutotitus. And when we found out that Titus is on commentary, all of a sudden ADR comes out with Zeb Coulter. Stardust taps to the Patriot Lock, and then he's met with a chair. Like ADR just comes in out of nowhere and just smacks his ass, Jack Swagger, with a chair. And then my feed starts fucking up, but there's a chair off. They both hit chairs. And ADR drops his. He's in pain. He goes to run away, but he trips over Zeb Coulter's buggy. And then Jack kind of roughs up Zeb Coulter. Bad night for Zeb Coulter, by the way. Bad night. But he's kind of roughing him up, putting his hand on his heart. It's like, yeah, we the people kind of shit. And then Zeb just kind of looks at him and is like, I'm not having this. He just kind of rolls off. I just thought that was funny. It was like, he kind of, oh, this is awkward. So I'm just going to roll off. And then you see Stardust and the Repo decide he kind of just kind of rides by them and just goes to the back. Oh, boy. Bad night for Zeb Coulter. And then we find out, the Rose Bush. I can't. ADR is in the back with Zeb Coulter. He's pretty pissed off that he tripped over his scooter, that he was in the way. They laughed at me. No one laughs at ADR. No one laughs at Alberto Del Rio. And he breaks up with Zeb Coulter. Kind of roughs him up a little bit. It's like, man, fuck you. I don't need you. We're breaking up. But there's no room for him as long as he's part of the League of Nations. They got rid of the whole the gimmick of Max America, and I guess this is the final. Finally the WWE saying, let's just break him away from Zeb Coulter. He should have never been with him in the first place in that capacity. It was just a bad booking. I mean, it could have worked because Zeb is a great mouthpiece. Alberto can't really talk that well, and they're going to be heels, then yeah, they can heal it up. But Max America, that was just a bad booking. That's bad beat, man. And I guess they saw the error in their ways, and they joined, I still don't know why Alberto Del Rio is part of the League of Nations. I still don't know how he got in there, and he's just there. So there's no room for Zeb. And he actually throws a chair at his ass. As Zeb just kind of just sucks. Just kind of rolls off again. Well, anyway, we get Tommy Dreamer versus Braun Strowman. And we find out that we're going to get a 8-man table elimination at TLC between the Wyatts and Team Extreme. This match is alright. I guess it's Tommy Dreamer's first singles match back in the WWE. He loses to getting strangled. What was cool because he got a pin in the opening match, and I guess that would count as his first win back. But he gets strangled out by Braun Strowman in this, and Yeah. Welcome back, Tommy Dreamer. Um, oh man, this last. You know what? Fuck this last segment. It, I swear to God, I don't even know what this was all about. Because it seems that Sheamus was going to call out Roman Reigns, but we get Roman Reigns in the ring calling out Sheamus to teach me a lesson. Like, he doesn't even allow Sheamus to even call him out to teach him a lesson, right? He's in the ring. He's head honcho. He's the one. He's the straw that mixed the drink, you know? And it's just hard to get behind this. It's hard to get behind this riffraff, man. It's just so hard. And they go back and forth. We get the birth of the tater tot chants towards Sheamus. My feed starts going in and out. I'm dozing off too. It ends in a brawl, and then Sheamus is speared through a table by Roman Reigns. Yay! More babyface. I mean, this was like the fucking Return of the Jedi, man. Like, no heel heat whatsoever on this. You get, look at this shit, man. Look at this shit. You get the baby faces winning the 6-man elimination. You got, oh yeah, look. Oh, look. Roman Reigns hits a spear. They win. Yay. Against 4 heel, well, not the Dudleys, but the Wyatts and the fucking, and team of League of Jobbers. Like, no heel heat, right? We get no heel heat on Owens going into the his match with Dean Ambrose, because Dean Ambrose comes out and makes him look like a fool. Look at this shit, man. We get the New Day losing to the Lucha Dragons. No heel heat, getting stomped by the Usos. Man, we don't even know what the heel heat is for this Paige versus Charlotte. Yeah, it seems like the only one that got heel heat was Rusev on some bullshit too. ADR breaks up with fucking Zeb Coulter because Jack Swagger makes fucking ADR make him look like a joke. So no heel heat for ADR. The only heel heat he's getting because he's fucking, he roughed up Zeb Coulter. What? So it seems the Wyatt family got some heel heat going in because he strangled Braun Strowman. I mean, Braun Strowman strangled Tommy Dreamer. And that's a little bit of heel heat there. And then the heel heat has gone from Sheamus because he's been made into a complete fool by Roman Reigns. Bully, like I've said this for the past 3 weeks, it's Bully Reigns. He's the asshole here. You remember Sheamus versus Mark Henry? And Mark Henry was doing the Hall of Pain shit, and Sheamus was like, yeah, I'm going to bust your ass, like, I'm the bully buster. But he ended up being the bully. And it was almost like a double turn. People started rooting for Mark Henry because Sheamus was an asshole. And it's the same here. Same here. Roman Reigns is the asshole. And it seems like people are popping for the shit. I don't get it. I think people are just giving up. It's like, well, if we gotta like the guy, we'll just like the guy. I'm never gonna like the guy until he starts developing into something that I can actually relate or connect to. I just can't. I can't. The guy does no moves. Kick, punch, slap, kick, punch, slap, kick. I mean, this guy is a joystick. We got the kick button, we got the punch button, we got the clothesline button, we got a slap button, and that's it. And then we hit a spear and a punch and a spear, whatever. And then when he talks, he sounds like a goober. That's just nothing cool about this guy whatsoever. This guy, I laugh at guys like this. I go like, you nerd, fuck out of here. Trying to be cool. You're not cool. I feel like he's got a FUBU. He's going to put on a FUBU shirt, leaving the fucking arena. Fucking his 1994 having ass. Like, this guy's not cool. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm just going to ignore him, Just can't do it. I'm sorry. And it's not even like I'm being uppity about it. Just look at the way he's being booked. He's being booked as a bully. He's being booked that no, like you stack the odds against him, and you're trying to build him up for sympathy, but he just keeps winning, and he's not even John Cena. So again, when he's there to climb that fucking ladder, and he's about to win that championship, Triple H is gonna show up, man. Triple H is gonna show up, and then they're gonna start their feud going into fucking WrestleMania, and that's the way I see it. That's just the way I see it. Again, just a convoluted, they don't even know, lack of fucking direction, lack of heat, lack of fucking roster members to make any kind of sense of a go-home show. That's Peter's Raw Recap. Hit the subscription button below. Again, PJTW content. Yes, the New Day podcast will be on hiatus for the month of December. All right. Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling on Wednesday may be a super late one. If I can't find anyone to fill in for Jake, he will record with me at 6 o'clock. So that means the podcast itself, the actual audio will be up around maybe 9 or 10, but the video won't even go up until tomorrow. So, and then you got Peter's Raw Recap next week. You got Sunday, TLC, and I think I'll probably do like a really quick review of TLC and Peter's Raw Recap next week. So I'll be seeing you Wednesday, hopefully. Until then, watch out for those foreign objects.